Hello, my friend, and welcome to Wisdom Trek. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 3-day per week, 12 minutes of wisdom podcast. This is day 384 of our trek, and today is Motivation Monday. Every Monday, we hike the trails of life to encourage and motivate you to live the rich and satisfying life for this week. Today, we are continuing our trek, and we will hike the trail called The Realization of Happiness. We are broadcasting from our studios at the Big House in Marietta, Ohio. We have a ride back from Podcast Movement 2016 conference, and I have to say it was worth every minute and dollar invested in it. I realize that the information learned and the connections made will return many times what we invested. The PMX talk I gave on Wednesday was not quite as polished as I had desired, but the feedback from the audience was pretty good, and I learned some valuable lessons for the next time. On another special event, although Wisdom Trek was not chosen for the Academy of Podcasters Award, just to be nominated was such a privilege. We are very honored. Andy Stanley's Leadership Podcast won the award in the Religion and Spirituality category, which was well-deserved because it's an excellent podcast. We were able to reconnect with existing friends and establish many new friendships. The bonds and the connections made this past week will last a lifetime. After all the renovations on the Big House, a very enjoyable and successful family reunion last weekend, and then the great Podcast Movement Conference this week, it'll be nice to relax a little and then get back to our normal routine of client work and podcasting. I do have a few projects left that I was unable to complete before the reunion, but will be able to leisurely complete those over the remainder of the summer. I do plan on making a video tour of the Big House renovations once I get settled back in this week. I'll let you know when that's completed. With the new week facing us now, and after some intense and exciting events, it would be easy to fall into a lull period, where it would be hard to stay motivated. But we don't want to fall prey to this, so today, let's hike the trail called The Realization of Happiness. Clinical psychologists believe that happiness is a product of realization. You must allow yourself to go through a process to realize happiness. While we may or may not experience happiness all the time, we can take steps to ensure that we are happier in all aspects of life. It all boils down to the choices that we make in the following 14 areas. So let's go through those now. The first one is accept the pains. You must realize and accept the situation for what it is. Sometimes people deny their hardship, thinking that if they don't face it, they will be happier. But it's the other way around. Allow yourself to go through the pains. Live life how it really is today, and not what you hope it to be. Joy is even a greater sense of happiness because it defies circumstances. The Apostle Paul wrote in Philippians chapter 4, verse 4, "Always be full of joy in the Lord." I will say it again, rejoice. The next aspect is to choose not to stay in pain. This is a self-choice, or could be called self-empowerment. You can either be bitter about the pains and feel very powerless, or you can make the choice to do something about them and feel powerful enough to handle them. It's your choice to live with or without the pain. The next aspect is to forgive yourself and other people. Before forgiveness comes in, think about how other people really do hurt. Then realize that you can see yourself for who you actually are and not how others want you to be. So finding happiness is never rooted in the outside, but the inside of you. What you see, how you view things, and what you want. And that leads to your choice, to live your life with yourself. Learn to accept all the apologies that you never receive. It is then that you'll be able to free yourself from the control of others. The next aspect is to take responsibility for your life. You sometimes allow yourself to let other people, circumstances, or pains in the past to rule your lives. So you become very unhappy and very bitter because you live blaming others for who they are, who you are, and what you should be. It's an exhausting process because you are forever blaming other people. Don't be bothered by what other people think you are or the standards that they set. Take responsibility for your own life. It is not other people's responsibility to love you, it's yours. The next aspect is learn to let go and trust yourself. To be happy means learning to let go of the expectations from yourself or from other people. You can't always have your way. At work or at home, you can't always be sure your strategies will work or your plans will happen. But before you let go, have a deeper trust in yourself. The next aspect is to learn to receive blessings. Think of all the little things that make you happy, or the other people who encourage you and give you assurance where you are good. You do have reasons to be happy. The only problem is that you don't see them all the time, or you take them for granted. You need to have eyes and hearts to see and feel the little and simple things of life, and realize that all things that make you happy have come along their way. Choose to enjoy the little and simple things of life. The next aspect is to have somebody to turn to. Even if you're in great turmoil, there are people who will support you. Too often we stick with people who just make us unhappy. If you're unhappy, seek people to encourage and nurture you. You do become like those who you invest the most time with, so seek out others who will serve as a wellspring of inspiration, and don't forget to do the same for them. The next aspect is to be hopeful. Have true and lasting hope. It is better than being optimistic since it is whole, real, and established in faith. Sometimes your optimism can be a denial of hardship. It's easy to fake optimism about things, but inside you, you're anxious about them. Hope is deeper. It is something to look forward to, even when you do recognize the difficulties and the pain. The more hopeful you are, the more you recognize that even when a situation is bad and difficult to handle, in the end you know it will bear good results. You don't deny the difficulties, you're touching the ground instead. As Hebrews chapter 11 verse 1 tells us, faith is the reality of what is hoped for and the evidence of things that we cannot see. The next aspect is to keep your faith alive. There are points in your life where you can't handle problems alone. Think about someone who is wiser, stronger, and who loves you dearly to take care of you. Having faith in God will give you that hope, and allowing others to minister in your life will keep your faith alive. The next aspect is you can actually give intangible gifts even without your conscious effort. While it may not manifest itself immediately, people will tell you later that you have helped them, and gradually you will feel that you're making a difference in their lives. It's a deeper gift. When you help others, they affirm it by saying, "Thank you," and be blessed by your goodness. It is then that you realize that you are a good person, and your goodness is not merely based on meeting deadlines, getting a raise, or some self-benefit. It is more of proving your self-worth based on being loved for who you really are, and not simply for the results that you can deliver or the material contribution to your company or organization. This strengthens your positive attitudes toward the difficulties in life. The next aspect is to be grateful. You have to develop within yourself a sense of gratitude. You should be thankful for what you do have, but you should also recognize that there are things that you can do to improve your life. In 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 18 tells us to be thankful in all circumstances, for this is God's will for those who belong in Christ Jesus. The next aspect is it's all in the mind. We are unhappy because we think we are. Unhappy people are attached to their unhappiness. They refuse to change. When you think negatively, then you attract negative thoughts. If you think tragedy will fall on you, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Unconsciously, you will make it happen. Of course, the converse is true. It boils down to happiness is a choice. The next aspect is money isn't everything. People accumulate more and more money, but the amount of happiness that they can buy gets smaller and smaller. Although more money may bring a greater feeling of empowerment, study shows that personal relationships, spirituality, and feelings about yourself more directly influence your well-being and happiness. Money should never be viewed as a source of happiness, but a source that will allow you to have better options and to make better choices in life and an opportunity to positively impact the lives of others. And the last aspect is discover the best friend in you. We can all change for the better, and you can be happy even with yourself by discovering the best friend in you. Get real. Don't be hard on yourself with those high and unattainable goals. It's time that you don't look for happiness outside of you. Today, let someone love you just the way you are, as flawed as you might be, as unattractive as you sometimes feel, as incomplete as you think you are. Yes, let someone love you despite all of this, and let that someone be you. To create a living legacy, you must learn to love others unconditionally. This is a fact. But here's the caveat. You can never unconditionally love others until you first unconditionally love yourself. We have hiked the trail of the realization of happiness. To a large extent, we are in control and responsible for our own happiness. Also, we can experience a deep sense of abiding joy in our lives regardless of our circumstances. Let's take the lessons that we learned from today's trail and apply them each day. Our next trek will be Wisdom Wednesday, where we will explore the nuggets of wisdom found in Proverbs chapter 14. So encourage your family and friends to join us and then come along with us on Wednesday for another day of Wisdom Trek, Creating a Legacy. That will finish our trek for today. Just as you enjoy these doses of wisdom, we ask you to help us to grow Wisdom Trek by sharing it with your family and friends through email, Facebook, Twitter, or in person when you meet with them, and invite them to come along with us each day. If you'd like to listen to any of the past daily treks, they are available at wisdom-trek.com. And don't forget to subscribe to Wisdom Trek so that each trek is downloaded to you automatically. The journal for today's trek is available at wisdom-trek.com. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, I am your friend, as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal. As we take this trek together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and leave a living legacy each day. This is Guthrie Chamberlain reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you on Wednesday.